Okay, let's talk about that feeling. That creeping, uncomfortable feeling of social anxiety. The sense that you're living your life under a constant judgmental spotlight. Well, today, we're going to turn it off. You know exactly what I'm talking about, right? You spill a little coffee on your shirt or you trip on the sidewalk, and your brain just screams that everyone saw it. And not only that, they're judging you and they're going to remember it forever. It's this weird thing where we feel like our internal state, our embarrassment, our anxiety is totally obvious to everyone around us. It's like every tiny little mistake is this huge performance for a massive and very critical audience.
Well, that feeling, it actually has a name. And just understanding what it is, that's the first step to finally turning that imaginary spotlight off for good. It's called the spotlight effect. And no, it's not just you being paranoid. It's a real, well-documented cognitive bias. Our brains are basically hardwired to make us believe that we're way more noticeable to other people than we actually are. It's a powerful trick our mind plays on us, and it's fueled by that nagging feeling that everyone can see right through us.
So here's the core of the illusion. We are the absolute center of our own universe. I mean, that's not vanity, it's just how it is, right? We can only experience the world from our own perspective. And because our own life feels so vivid and so important, we just naturally assume we're the main character in everyone else's story too. But the truth is, they're the star of their own. But hey, don't just take my word for it. Psychologists at Cornell University actually put this exact feeling to a very real and, honestly, a very awkward test. So here's what they did. They got a group of students to wear what was, at the time, considered a super embarrassing t-shirt, one with a giant picture of Barry Manilow on it. Then they made them walk into a room packed with their peers. I mean, come on, that's the ultimate social nightmare, right? Before they went in, the students were asked to guess what percentage of people would notice their shirt. They predicted about 50%, half the room. But the reality? Oh, it wasn't even close. When the researchers actually asked the other people in the room, less than 20% even remembered seeing the shirt at all. And this chart just shows you how massive that gap really is. I mean, look at that bar for what they predicted versus the tiny bar for what was real. The anxiety they were feeling was based on something more than twice as exaggerated as the truth. That, right there, is the spotlight effect in action. So this brings up a really fascinating question. If they weren't noticing the embarrassing shirt, what were they all thinking about? The answer is so simple, and it applies to pretty much everyone, all of the time. They were thinking about themselves. I mean, just look at this chart. People spend the vast majority of their mental energy on their own lives, their own worries, their to-do lists, what they're going to have for lunch later. You and your embarrassing t-shirt are just a tiny little sliver of their mental focus. You know, realizing you're just an extra in someone else's movie might sound a little sad at first, but I promise you, it is one of the most liberating thoughts you can possibly have, because suddenly the pressure is off. That huge audience you were so worried about, it just doesn't exist. So what does this actually mean for you in your day-to-day life? Well, once you truly accept that nobody is watching you that closely, you unlock this whole new level of freedom. The freedom to try things, to experiment, and yeah, even the freedom to fail. And this applies absolutely everywhere. Think about it. At the gym, you're so worried about your form, but literally everyone else is just checking out their own form in the mirror. Trip on the street? Anyone who saw it has already forgotten by the time they get to the next corner. And giving a presentation? The audience isn't sitting there hunting for mistakes. Honestly, they're just hoping you do well so it isn't awkward for them. Okay, so here is a super practical tool you can use the next time that wave of embarrassment hits. I call it the so what test, and it's a really simple way to get instant perspective. The next time you do something that feels mortifying, just ask yourself this. Will this matter in 5 hours? Probably not. Okay, what about in 5 days? Definitely not. And in 5 years? Absolutely 100% not. The emotional weight we give these moments is just completely out of proportion to their actual lifespan. So just stop. Stop performing. Stop carefully curating your every single move for an imaginary audience. They've all gone home. In fact, they never even bought a ticket to your show in the first place. Be weird. Go try that new hobby you're probably gonna be bad at. Wear that strange outfit. Dance in public if you want to. Like the slide says, live for your own experience, not for the applause from a silent theater. Because when you finally truly step out of that imaginary spotlight, you find a whole new way of being. you're free. You're authentic. You are, in a word, unbothered. And trust me, that is a fantastic way to live.